Hello again. If there are two people whose very names evoke horror and disgust among liberals and left-wingers in Britain, they must surely be Tommy Robinson and Katie Hopkins. Mention of them seems to cause a visceral and unreasoning fury in progressive types, although it's a little hard to see why until you look a little closely at the business. Or rather, I know why, but it's not the reason that is usually given. Both of them have now been allowed back on Twitter or whatever it is called these days. The truth is, both Hopkins and Robinson from time to time say foolish and ill-considered things, as do we all. I am hardly in a position to criticise anybody for that. The things that they usually say, though, leaving aside the occasional exaggeration or lapse of judgment, are nothing at all out of the ordinary. It is this which makes them so disliked by Guardian readers and similar. Tommy Robinson and Katie Hopkins simply say what a great number of people in Britain think, but dare not say aloud for fear of losing their friends or even their jobs. They're just ordinary people saying ordinary stuff. It is this which makes them so hated by a number of militantly anti-racist and pro-Brexit characters. They realise that it is people like those two who are speaking for the average man and woman in the street, and that this is the key to their popularity. They're not in the club of politicians, journalists, academics, authors and intellectuals who shape the narrative in this country today. They're outsiders, in the sense that they are normal people. This infuriates certain groups who feel that normal people should take their cue from them and not start listening to other normal people and agreeing with their views. This would result in anarchy, of course, with people actually thinking for themselves and making up their own minds about the important topics of the day. That would be a chilling prospect for the intelligentsia, for where would it leave them? They would no longer have a role to play if the mass of ordinary people stopped paying heed to them when they talked about the benefits of immigration and multiculturalism. That kind of thing, people trusting their own instincts and common sense, might spread, and then all those people who write leading articles for the important papers, all the television journalists, the clever people working in universities and the fashionable novelists, well, they'd all be out of a job. The fact is that Robinson and Hopkins are back on Twitter is exceedingly irksome to those people for another reason. Because it combines those two with another pet hatred, the awful state of affairs whereby any ordinary person can now publish his or her thoughts and broadcast them to the whole world. This has been long viewed as appalling for obvious reasons. 30 years ago, the only way in which I could have broadcast my own views and opinions to the world like this would have been if a television company had allowed me to do so. Does anybody at all watching this really imagine that a TV company would let me talk the way that I do here? Of course not. Yet I am able to do so, and it doesn't cost me a penny. The same goes for Twitter. Anybody can publish their thoughts so that anybody else in the world could see them. For the former gatekeepers of writing, printing and broadcasting, this state of affairs is little short of disgusting, for it means that broadcasting and publishing are no longer the preserve of a small elite, but are available to us all. Nothing could be more democratic, and it is hateful to the left-wing and progressive people. So it is that watching as two people whom they loathe are now once again allowed to broadcast their views to the world in this way upsets the British intelligentsia on two levels. I must admit I'm finding the sight of all those people foaming at the mouth with anger about this highly entertaining.